Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're gonna be looking at Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Cyclops. Yes, this is the new Marvel Legends Cyclops based on the new animated series that is the continuation of the original series that we got back in the 90s. I talked about it before on some of my previous X-Men reviews here. I was a huge fan of that cartoon when I was a kid, and I just can't believe that all of these years later we are getting the continuation of that story, and that now someone like me who was a kid back then, now as an adult I can enjoy these stories and continue to watch these characters evolve and go through all of these adventures, and I mean it's a great fun for me. So here we are today taking a look at the new Marvel Legends Cyclops. Before we take a look at the figure, it's a standard card back for this X-Men 97 line. We have a nice illustration of Cyclops, and then here we have the logo and some of the characters that were part of that first wave, and then here is the back, a nice promo shot of the figure, and here we can see other characters that are part of this wave. Legally is down here, nothing much more to see, so let's open up this card back and let's take a look at the figure. So here is our Cyclops out of the box, and as someone who never had an animated Cyclops figure, this is my first one, I have to say that I really love how this guy turned out. Again, I know that Hasbro already made few versions of this animated Cyclops, but because this is my first one, I really love the way that he looks. The proportions look good, the joints are pinless, it represents the animated character, so it's all kind of clean and vibrant, and I love that. The silhouette looks good. Here is the side of the figure, and then here is the back, and yeah, just overall a great looking Cyclops. But now let's take a look at the details. And when I say that it's a representation of an animated look of this character, I think that it's best seen on the head. The head sculpt is good, but it's definitely simplified and animated. He has a kind of a smirk on his face, but the visor looks great. It's nicely and cleanly painted. The lips are also well painted. There is a piece of plastic here, but I can peel that off. It shouldn't be too much trouble. And then here is a look at his hair. It's also clean, but a sculpt is good. Hair is kind of floating to the side, and I love that they decided to sculpt one piece of hair here that is poking out. That kind of makes this head look a bit more interesting. For the rest of the body, this strap is part of the body, it's not a separate piece, and it continues down here and connects to the belt, but as you can see, when you articulate the figure, there is a cut here. So these two pieces are technically separated, but when you articulate the torso, that articulation point does not break the sculpt, so that is a nice way to engineer that detail. The muscles are well sculpted. I almost feel like there is a little bit of shading on those lines of the muscles, but it's probably just the shadow underneath these lights here. The arms look good. As I said, they are pinless. For some reason there is a line here, and I thought that it's some kind of articulation point, but it's not, and it's like that on both arms. So I'm not sure if that's part of his costume. Maybe it's because they reused the arm and then just newly sculpted this lower part of the arm and then glued it together. I'm not sure, but there it is. The hands and the gloves look good. There are some wrinkles on them, which is great. The belt is also nicely sculpted, and here is the back of the figure, the muscles, and then the pouches on the belt. And on the legs we have these yellow straps that are also part of the sculpt of the leg. They are not a separate piece. The muscles of the legs look good, and again, pinless joints. Down here we can see the boots, some more straps, and the feet. So yeah, everything looks really good, and it's what you expect out of your animated series Cyclops. Now let's take a look at his accessories. First, he comes with an alternate head sculpt, and this is his angry face showing his teeth, and with a visor that has a hole in it, and that is because he also comes with a blast effect that you just need to port in like this. And now you have your Cyclops shooting his beam out of the visor. So that is great. I love the fact that they decided to include this effect in this release. The sculpt on this is nice, it's fairly simple. It's a red translucent plastic with some of the sculpted lines in it, and the lower part of it is flat and smooth. And then going back to that alternate head sculpt, again, the sculpt looks great. I feel like this head is even better than the one that is already on the figure. It's just a shame that this part of the visor has this hole, and so you practically can't just pose this guy on your shelf looking like this without that effect. It would be great if Hasbro found a way to give us the option to maybe swap out the visor without a hole, so that we can have those options, you know. That would make this release even better, but it is what it is. In terms of the rest of the head sculpt, other than the face, the hair is the same sculpt on both heads, so I'm guessing that it's a separate piece that they just glued on, so there it is. But again, a great looking head sculpt, and this is the better one of the two. He comes with 3 alternate hands. We have 2 fisted hands, and obviously we have 2 relaxed hands that are on the figure, and then we have 1 left hand that is posed in a way that is posed for when you want to display him like he's touching the visor while he's shooting the beam. Now let's take a look at his articulation. The head is on a ball hinge, so the neck doesn't move, it's part of the body, but for the head that ball hinge does give you some nice tilt, and then you can look down all the way, up all the way. Side to side movement is really limited, again because the neck does not move. And then of course you get the 360 movement. We have a nice butterfly joint. Arms move out this much, they rotate 360. We have a bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbow that bends this much, a swivel in the wrist, and then in and out hinge, and all of his hands have the same hinge. We have the old school cut in the torso, so he can crunch forward this much, back this much, and then we have another cut down here behind the belt, and then we have another cut down here underneath the belt, so that will give us side to side rotation. There is no tilt here. Legs move out this much, forward this much, back this much. We have a tie cut above this strap, so that's a nice engineering. Double jointed pinless knee. We have a boot cut, and the feet move forward this much, back this much. We get a nice ankle pivot and pec holes at the bottom of his feet. Let's now compare our Cyclops with some other figures. Here he is with Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Wolverine and Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Rogue. Here he is with Mafex Gambit and Mafex Storm. Here he is with Mafex Magneto and Marvel Legends AliExpress Bootleg Juggernaut. So all in all, do I recommend this guy? I definitely do. This is a phenomenal Cyclops figure. I know that the first head probably won't be for everyone. Not everyone will like it, but I still feel like this is a beautiful looking figure. I love the fact that they gave us this blasting effect, and that alternate head sculpt looks amazing. I think that this is a great release, and I'm really happy that I was able to include this guy in my X-Men animated series collection. So a great release by Hasbro, but that's just my opinion. Now I would love to hear you guys. What do you think about this release? Do you feel like this is the best Cyclops that Hasbro ever made, or do you prefer some of the previous releases? Let me know all of that down in the comments, and stay tuned for a posing video for this guy, because that one is coming soon. As always, special thank you to all of my Patreon supporters, and to all the rest of you guys, thank you all so much for watching my videos, for supporting the channel in that way. Thank you all for being here with me, and I'll see you up in the next video.